And I think it's going okay. Looks like it's doing its thing. Close that down. So let's just talk really quickly about the process again. Remember, the thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open a new drawing, okay? And it'll be in the model. And then on the layout, I'm going to put all my annotations. And by putting my title block on here, I will get the annotations that I want. So if you remember, it was important to me to have the Dimstyles already set and already in. So let me open that thing. Let's see, AutoCAD drawings. I'm going to open my template. There it is. There's mine. And I'm going to look and see what's in here already and see if I have enough to do the job I'm going to do. So if I go to my layers, I'll see what layers are in there. Okay, I got the layers. That's good. Border, center, dimension. So I've got all my layers in there. Let me look at my Dimstyles. And I've got standard, mech, 2 decimal places, XX, and mechanical, 3 decimal. So I don't have either my civil or my architectural. So I'm going to need those. So I'm going to do those right now. I'm going to get them all done ahead of time. So here we go. I'm going to go to my Dimstyle Manager. And I only have to do this once. I'm going to start with standard and modify. Now I'm just going to do stuff. Oops, I'm not going to modify. I'm going to make a new one. And I'm going to make my architectural. Okay, now don't copy this exactly. You're going to need to go to the tutorials and do it exactly. But I know that this is going to be 0.12, baseline spacing, that looks okay. That all looks okay. My symbols and lines are architectural ticks, and they're 3/30 seconds or 1/8. Break size 3/30 seconds. That all looks good. First, my leaders are okay. My text can be standard. Text height 0.125 or 3/30 seconds. Either way. And I want them aligned with the dimension line. And I want them above. There we go. So that looks right. And then I've got a fit, which says that all looks okay. I think everything stayed okay there. And here I have to tell it I want to be an architect, which means it's going to put it in feet and inches. And I don't remember what I said. So I think I'm going to make it to the nearest 1/8 of an inch. I don't remember what I said that I'm going to do. And there. So that's what that's going to be my architectural. And I'll make another new one, which is going to be civil. And that one's different again. This can all stay the same. Symbols and arrows can all stay the same. Tech fit. Here's the big one, is that it's decimal to 2 places, and I'm going to put the foot symbol after it. So those are the main differences. And then I remember that there was some sort of a leader style for me to look at and make sure that I've got that right. So I'm going to manage that. So this is all your preparation, but you only have to prepare once. So I'm going to have a standard one, or I'm going to have one called ISO for my isometrics. And I remembered that these arrows, sorry about that, it's on the recording. Thank you. I had everything, I was recording it. And I'm going to get this weird thing called an integral. That's for my isometrics. Format, content, and my text height will be 1/8. And so I need to modify my standard to also have a text height of 1/8. So those, now you're going to need to go to your tutorials and really watch them side by side by what you're doing and make sure you get them all correct. Okay? But now I've got them in my template, so I'm going to save my TBA template Schuster. And now that I got it right, I can close it. Okay? And I'm going to start a new draw. I'm not going to start a new drawing. I'm going to open now. I'm going to do my architectural one. So I'm going to open my floor plan. And, oh, I got a floor plan. Look at that. And let's just see. Yep, they're all in here. It's got all of the ones from the floor plan, but it doesn't have any of the layers that are mine yet. And if I look at the Dimstyles, it doesn't have any that are mine yet. So I need to bring in my title block to get those. My model is here and it's correct. And my layout looks correct. But there's just, I don't have everything. So I'm going to insert from my block library. And then I go, well, mine is showing up here because I just did it. But you might have to go look for yours. That's this weird little icon there. And you might have to go look for your own template. Mine's already in here. So I'm just going to hold my left click down and I'm going to bring it into place. And now, when I go back to my home, I've got all the ones that I want. And it's a little bit of a mess, but it's okay. I can find mine. It'll be okay. And most importantly, I've got my dimensions for architectural, and it's ready. Okay, now I see that I have to move this a little bit. Let me click on it and see I'm at 1 inch equals 1/16. That's a pretty good number. I always want to have a regular number here. And I think I'll have room. So I'm just going to move this a little bit so that I've got, it's just a little bit better situated. And I can move this over to here. And I can move this up to here. See how I just got it to kind of fit right? Now I have to go look at my sample to see if that's going to show me enough. And I want to make sure that that's on the def points layer or a no print layer. So when I print it, I won't see it. And I might need to go into my model and move this just a little bit. And if I end up not having enough room, I'll have to go into my model and change the scale. Wrong way. I always go the wrong way. But that's going to be a little too small. I think it'll work. with this 1/16. Okay? So we start doing this early on because it's important. You have to start being able to work with layers. And I can pick the layers I want. I'm going to put mine dimensions on the dimension layer. And remember, I have to pick what type of dimension I'm going to pick. I'm going to pick an architectural one. That's just like another one. So now I can put on all those things. Uh-oh, there's nothing there. How am I going to get to that spot? I'm going to probably go to a depth points layer and draw a line, because it won't plot, but I'll be able to see it. And I'll go back to my dimension, and now I'll be able to dimension things. And then I'm going to show you another trick for that at some point. And you can just start putting these in. Shift and right click. It's bringing up my midpoint. And you're just going to then make these look as much as you can well, come on, I know I can get it. Sometimes I have to move the whole thing up. But you'll play around with it and you'll get it right. Okay, now I'm going to show you another one that's really interesting. And I'll let you do all the rest, but this is just, if I want to find the midpoint between these 2 points, how do I do that? There's an O snap called midway between points. And I'm not seeing it here, but if I shift and right click, there's midway between 2 points. It gives me more to pick from. So I'm going to say, I did that with a shift and a right click. So dimension, shift, right click, midway between 2 points. Isn't that cool? So that's another thing that you can look at doing. So remember also, and I'm not going to do this whole thing for you. I want you to do the whole thing. I want you to look at the sample and get this as close as you can to the sample. What I'm most interested in is that when I open your drawing, I see annotations in paper space. I see your model in model space. And remember, I can't change this, the title block, until I explode it. Now I can change it. Floor plan. And that was 1 inch. Or what is it actually? Now I don't remember. Is it 1/16 of an inch equals a foot? Oh, but that goes in the scale. Sorry. Excuse me. What if it's too big? It doesn't fit. How do I fix that? I click on it and I change the text type. Excuse me, hit the wrong button there. So this unit here is really getting into the nitty-gritty. You're going to really get lots and lots of tools. What have I just shown you? I've showed you how to set Dimstyles, how to set a scale in a paper space, in a viewport, how to move back and forth from model space to paper space, how to change a title block, how to bring your own layers in, how to set Dimstyles so that you can make it look right. So there's a lot of stuff going on with this drawing that are pretty cool. That there's just a lot of good stuff on here. Okay? Any questions on that? I know it's a lot, but that's exactly what you're going to do, but you're going to make it look like that. Oh my gosh. Okay, so do you see this? I just saw a mistake I made. Okay, so mine came out very small because I'm going to tell you. It actually picked up the piece of paper. So you're going to need this line to find that midpoint. You're going to need that line to be in the model. So you're going to put on the def points layer, you're going to draw a line wherever you're going to need to put those dimensions. And that's because it needs to actually find a piece of the model. So I take it back. You have to do it kind of that way. And if your numbers are just slightly different, don't worry about it. But see how critical it is to pay attention to all the details? Look what I just did wrong. I see it's the wrong color. So I forgot to reset that to be the dimension layer. And I have to make it current. So these are the things to just pay attention to and get good at. Draw on the correct layer. If you don't draw on the correct layer, change it later on. Okay? If you don't have it on the right dim style, put it on the right dim style. Because look, if I did this on one dim style, I can change it to another. So if you got your dim style wrong, go back and change it. You have to start becoming very organized in your thought, and you just have to recognize. You have to look and you have to see. Does it look like the sample? If not, you have to start looking at all the different things. You have to look at the layers. You have to look at the Dimstyles. You have to look at the viewport. You have to look at this. So now I know that some of these may not take up the same amount of room because I'm using a different title block for you than what we had in the little samples. That's okay. Do the best you can to get them organized and in. Okay, does that give you a little bit of a clue on the architectural one? Let's go now and do the civil one. So I'm going to open my civil plot plan. And now I've got some stuff to do again. I'm going to have to insert my title block. Uh-oh. What's going on there? It's so small. What do you think is going on? I've got decimal feet and decimal inches going on. How much bigger, what's the scale factor from a foot to an inch? It's 12, right? So watch this. I'm going to insert it at a scale factor of 12. Okay, were you able to understand that? It's units. Remember I said we'd get to this at some point? The drawing that I opened has units in feet. My template has units in inches. So I need to change this to a uniform. I could take uniform scale of 12. Okay, or X, Y, and Z are in 12. Because there's 12 inches in every foot. Okay? And now I see I have to move this again because it's not quite set up in just the right place. So there we go. Now, there's a few things for you to know about this. Okay? The first thing is, very few parts of this actually need a dimension. So let me, sorry about that, let me put myself on the dimension layer. And I can click anywhere on this line, down to there. Uh-oh, 50 zeros. Oh, yeah. I need that to be in civil, right? And I can choose it up here, or I can click on it and choose the dim style over here. There we go. So when I change dim styles, I can either use it from my selector in the ribbons, or I can go to the properties and select the dim style. So there's only two things on here that are actually dimensioned. So there I go, and I have to fix that one up again because I did it wrong. That's okay. There. That's how I get the dimensions. This stuff up here is text. So I'm going to show you how to get this text to line up right. Okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is write the text. And I kind of have it by memory. So I'm going to go to my text layer. I'm going to write a piece of text. And I'm going to use the DT command, dynamic text. And I'm going to make it middle center. We talked about the other day. Middle center. I typed MC down on the line. And I'm going to start it right there. And there's my midpoint. And my height is going to be 0.125. And now I have to put in the angle. And I remember what it was. It was north 3 degrees. Is it 15 minutes? West. So I just look at that thing and say north 3 degrees, 15 minutes west. And then I type in my 115 feet, north 3. I always have to try to figure out what's the symbol for degree. I think it's percent D. Yep. North 3 degrees, 15 minutes west. And it lined it up. That is so cool. So I need to read that thing. What that means is that when I drew my line, I started out going north, and then I tilted it 3 degrees and 15 minutes to the west. That's how I drew that line. You just have to take that text that you see. Let's look at the text. When you write your text, what you see right there is what you type in for the angle. So over here, you'll type in the angle south 68 degrees 52 minutes east. Okay? That's how you get it to line up. Where's my AutoCAD? There we go. So now I've shown you how to put in text. I've showed you how to put in the dimensions. There's a few more things, and one of them is a leader. So I better have my nearest button on. Somehow I've got my grid snaps. That's interesting. They're not on. Okay. That's better. Okay, so leader, nearest. I don't know why I seem to have grid snaps on. and why I can't see them over here. That's the oddest thing I have seen. There we go. And it's going to say something like 30-foot setback. There we go. And so you'll get those on here in paper space. And the other thing is the donut command. And I'll make a 0 inside and maybe a 0.18 or a 0.25 outside. I don't know what's going on with my snaps here. Somehow my grid snaps are on. Wow, my thing is freaking out here. Snap mode is off. That's looking better. I must have had my snap mode on accident. So I'm going to do my wow. There's a dynamic something going on that's just bugging the living daylights out of me. I don't know where it is. I don't know why those are snapping. Although I just opened up this drawing from another spot. So I'll have to figure that one out for you and figure out what's going on. If I need to, I can put my donuts on in here. Probably a 2. Wow, it's happening in here too. Let's see. There we go. So I can get them done in here if I need to. And then you can put your elevation, your text on. Okay? So that's how we get your civil one done. And you're just going to make it look like the sample. And the last one to look at is the isometric, piping isometric. So here we go with the piping isometric. And we're going to put these on there, except now it needs the other type of endpoint. So how do I get that on there? Man, there we go. Needed a regen. I need to, first thing I do, insert my blocks from the libraries. Ooh, I wonder what the units are. I'm going to put it back to 1. I bet you it's going to be okay at 1. Yep. Move this where it needs to go so I can see stuff. Oh, look, all this is already in paper space. Okay, so in this case, I've got a little bit of a problem. I need to do two things at once. Okay, I'm going to show you a really, really cool tool. I'm going to need to move all this all at once together. Watch what I can do. I can do right click, layout goes into my model. And I can actually do that to a new drawing. I'm going to make a new drawing where that's, nah. Take it back. I'm not going to do all that. Okay? I'm just going to, I have to get this cleared out down here a little bit. So I'm just going to move the whole kit and caboodle. I have okay, I'm having troubles with my mouse now. There we go. There. So that's the easiest way to get it all moved. Just move the viewport and all the stuff. Okay, now I'll be ready to go. Again, I've got all my stuff in here now. I can go to my text layer. And I can set my annotation layer to be civil. And I can start putting on my annotations, which was the leader. Oh, I need my leader to be set also. So as an example, see how it gives me that cool little symbol? Okay, so that's and get them as close as you can. Get them as close as you can. These are 3 more types of drawings. They have a look, and you just need to get the look pretty close. That's what I'm interested in for this. Okay, and we get to do this again this week on Thursday. To answer any questions, we go over it and over it and over it. Okay? Open the drawing, put in the title block. Let me go ahead, explode my title block. Piping ISO, whatever. Just get all this done. Okay? And just go. Start creating good-looking drawings. All right? Do you guys have any questions on this at this point? Well, all right. I'm going to stop the recording then.